Welcome, welcome. I'm Nick Baldwin. Today we're going to have a pretty cool conversation that a lot of you agents are, listen, if you're not all going to be interested in getting your hands on this, then I don't know. You got to rethink life. Um, so we got Mike Lorino, the CEO of AssumeList here. Mike, you're also, and Nora, I don't have info on you. So who are you, Nora?
I'll introduce Nora.
Yeah, you introduced Nora.
You want to do introductions now? You want to turn it over? Do you want to kick us
No, well,
off?
I was just gonna say real quick. So, we know that interest rates are high. They're upwards of 7%, but that
Mhm.
doesn't mean that your buyers need to have a rate that high. And a lot of agents aren't familiar with the ability for your buyer to assume a loan of someone
Mhm.
who already has a home for sale with a mortgage that, you know, is 2%, 3%, 4%. And that's where AssumeList comes in. It's a database of homes that are for sale that are specifically um, homes for sale that have assumable loans. And that's what AssumeList is all about. And that's what we're going to help you understand today. But yeah, so you want to introduce yourself and Nora?
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. Mike Lorino, founder, CEO of AssumeList. We are what I would say in the early phases of a assumption boom. I am seeing a significant increase in demand from home buyers across the country who are literally begging for help from agents who are asking for assistance with finding homes with assumable mortgages to overcome or counteract the high interest rates that we're seeing today. So nobody wants to take out a mortgage at 7%. And a lot of agents I talk to, like, oh, nobody's really interested in doing assumptions. I don't need AssumeList. And like, no, I'm sorry to say, your clients are very interested in this. And there's two things that they want. They want access to properties with low rate assumable mortgages, and they want to work with an agent who has experience and knowledge in how to help them through that journey. And we're going to talk about both of those today. So with me today is Nora Simpson, head of training at AssumeList. She is a phenomenal coach, a real estate coach with 15 plus years experience teaching a very cool technique called the neuroscience of sales, a cognitive approach to working with buyers and sellers and understanding their needs and what language to use to address those needs in a very effective way. So we are applying some of those techniques with AssumeList, which is how do we get in front of these clients and give them an opportunity that maybe they heard about it, maybe they don't really understand it, but there is a very clear path to help them solve this problem. And I'll be clear on the front end. The purpose of AssumeList, our platform, and what we're going to talk about today is not that you have to close every single buyer with an assumable mortgage. It's that we're going to give you an opportunity. We're going to give you the language to have conversations with everybody in your database.
So
And
Mike,
some of those people will try to pursue an assumption, and some of those people may end up just purchasing a home outright. But the idea is that you brought people in off the sidelines. So I'm going to bring Nora Simpson in. She's going to kind of kick things off. We're going to do kind of a back and forth. We'll answer some questions. We definitely want to answer questions in the chat. So if you have questions, please post them. We have a lot of information we want to share with you today. Nora, take it away.
thank you, Mike. Okay, so if Mike is going to introduce me, I want to tell you guys who Mike is for me. So Mike doesn't brag about himself very much, and I don't know why my lighting just got weird. So whatever, I can't control that, people.
You're
Um,
glowing.
what'd you say? I'm glowing.
You're
Yeah,
glowing
something
with
like that,
excitement.
or like radiating, like uranium or something. Um, uh, like first of all, I want every agent in the country to know that Mike and his wife Bethany have closed more assumption deals than any other agent team in the country.
Wow.
So they know more about the teeny tiny little details, and they've developed more of those like tiny magic things that solve all the possible problems along the way than anyone else in the world. And AssumeList is an incredible incredible platform. Mike is super techie. He's got all this data that he pulls from 5,000 different places, and it's all smushed together in this fabulous algorithm with all this software. And you can see the interest rate on every home you find. You can see how much time is left on the mortgage, how much money is left on the mortgage, what the cash gap that the buyer is going to have to come up with is. And for real estate agents, our agent subscriptions are all the on-market and all the off-market properties. And the off-market properties are about 10x the on-market properties. And I just want to give you guys some data. So 10% of all properties on the market right now, give or take, are assumable. But fewer than 10% of those assumable properties are advertised that way. And more than half of the listing agents representing those properties don't even know that those properties have an assumable mortgage.
Because they don't think to ask because they don't know anything about it.
They don't know anything about assumptions. And so half of our AssumeList value proposition is that we give you access to all this incredible, like searchable, turn it upside down, turn it inside out kind of data. The other half is that we've built a learning center so that all of the brilliant, cool techniques, including like the VA assumption addendum and the FHA assumption addendum that Mike and Bethany drafted with their attorney locally in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Like, these are things that these guys actually like developed to make the process smoother. We make all of that available to our agent subscribers in our learning center. So we really are so committed to making sure that agents get to feel massively successful and prepared to go to the marketplace and give their buyers, their sellers. I mean, it's just so beneficial for everyone. I want to give you guys one more piece of data, and then we can keep talking. And I hope you guys are gonna like bomb the chat with lots of questions. So Mike and I are getting calls from at least 30 buyers per day. We've had to implement a daily live Q&A that I am going to be leading 7 days a week at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, that you can register for on the AssumeList website to handle all the buyer demand, because we just don't have time to talk to them individually anymore.
So you're doing webinars for the buyers
all the time.
Daily.
Constantly sending these buyers to our subscriber agents all over the country. And we also lead trainings for agent subscribers. So you have all the you have videos, fact sheets that you can download and send to others. There's a 14-minute crash course in assumptions that I recorded yesterday that we are going to be able to, all our agent subscribers will be able to send that out to everyone so that they can just be like, hey, I think your listing has an assumable mortgage. Watch this 14-minute video to get its flavor for like what you're really sitting on, right? The last thing I want to say is, when we talk to all our agent subscribers, which we do constantly all day, every day, here's what we're hearing. I have an agent subscriber who subscribed literally 3 days ago. She started going crazy with the learning center, learning everything she could. And she started emailing and contacting people from like her endless database, people who won't give her the time of day, haven't responded in years. All she said was, hey, I have access to a way to help you find 2%, 3%, and 4% mortgages. Are you interested? And people that have not talked to her in years got back to her in less than an hour.
I believe it.
So that's very powerful, Nora. Thank you. What I realized, right? So AssumeList we've now completed a full market cycle with our platform. We launched it in late 2023. We officially, we partnered with Lab Code Agents early 2024. So we're coming up on our annual anniversary with Lab Code Agents. What we've learned over the past year is that what I learned, I thought that when I launched AssumeList that there would be a very easy mental leap for agents to see, wow, look at this powerful information. I need to get this in front of my clients and it'll help me with my business. And what I realized is, even though there was this really powerful search platform that helps you find properties, both on market and off market homes with assumable mortgages, helps you automate listings, you can do lead generation from it. What I realized was, and with Nora's help, is a lot of agents really needed kind of that a little bit extra education, a little bit extra knowledge, a little bit extra coaching on how to use the information. You know, how do you have the conversations with your clients? What are the ways to overcome objections? Because there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about assumable mortgages, many of whom on this call here may be familiar with or may have heard, it takes 3 or 4 months to do an assumption. Sellers aren't interested. Nope, that's not true. Or sellers are liable after the loan closes. No, that's not true. Non-veterans are able to assume a VA loan. Very few people understand the rules around how non-veterans can assume a VA mortgage or how any buyer can purchase an assumption as an investment property, right? So all of those use cases are all in existence, and we have experience with all of them. And what I realized was over the last several months is I really needed to equip those agents who are using this platform to learn how to understand some of those nuances. And this is what makes an assumption transaction unique, and why I always advise my clients, or especially prospects, like leads that contact me, is they'll say, oh, I got an agent I want to work with. And I'll say, well, has that agent ever closed a deal with an assumable mortgage? What's that agent's level of familiarity with the assumption process? And if the answer is no and none to both of those questions, then I always say, well, you really want to kind of evaluate whether that is the right agent for you, because doing an assumption really takes a little bit more knowledge and a little bit more training on how that process works to help that buyer achieve their goal or help the seller achieve the goal. And a lot of kind of these bad examples you may have heard, oh, I took 3 months and the deal almost fell apart. Maybe the deal did fall apart. What I've learned, and I don't mean to stick a needle in anybody's eye, but a lot of those horror stories were really the result of the agents involved and not the lenders. And what I mean by that is lenders are actually mandated to complete or close an assumption within 45 days. There's federal guidelines from the time that the lenders or the buyer submits their loan application to the lender, to the servicer for processing. The lender only has 45 days by law to approve it. So when we hear all these cases, well, it took 4 months or it took 5 months. Really what the extended timeline built into that is really not getting documents submitted on time, not following up to make sure that the package was completed. The buyer's thinking that the seller's waiting on something, the seller's waiting on the buyers for something, and the agents really don't know how to navigate that dynamic because it's a non-standard transaction. And so normally when you submit a loan application, the lender kind of manages it all. Well, the burden to manage it falls not on the servicer processing the assumption, it falls on the agents involved. And a lot of agents never really understood their role in an assumption or didn't understand what the steps were. And so you heard a lot of cases where agents, would say, oh, this was a horrible experience. It took forever. Well, I hate to say this, but in many cases, not all, in many cases, that was the result of not really understanding what the steps were or what was needed to be done in order to help expedite it. I can tell you right now, every single one of my VA assumptions in 2024 took about 45 days or less. Few of them took closer to 50 days. I've not done a VA assumption since 2022. I've not done a VA assumption that took more than 50 days. So yes, it can be done in 45 days.
I'd like to add a couple things. Well, one thing
Yeah.
in particular, we're always, agents are always complaining about how, the buyer there's so much information out there right now. Buyers can basically find out anything they want, going on Zillow and so on and so forth. And sorry, she is very clingy today. Go away.
Apologizing. She's the AssumeList cat. We're so glad we have the AssumeList
Okay,
cat.
cool. She's our
great.
mascot. What I was saying was like, this is information that a buyer needs you for. You know what I mean? This is info that they're not going to find just by going on Zillow. And now the more, whoever has all the information or whoever has the important information is going to win. So if someone's ignoring you in your database, it's because you're not offering them value that they're interested in, right? So if you do say, hey, I can get you a 3% mortgage, that's something that everyone's interested in because interest rates are the hot topic right now. So And I also think agents are kind of jaded too, like, oh, another lead source. You know what I mean? But you guys say that you're getting, hundreds of inquiries every day, not just from where you're at, but from all over the country, which is now why you're having to do these webinars every day, 7 days a week, because it's just feasibly not scalable to have those conversations with every single person
We are getting
all day
loads and
long.
loads of inquiries. I just want to make sure when we quote data, we really like to be accurate at AssumeList. We're between 30 and 40 inquiries per day right now.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to say
We no,
100.
no, no.
Hundreds a
I mean,
week,
we're
maybe.
getting
Well,
thousands of
that's just
visitors.
one agent. That's one agent's worth of inquiries. Yeah.
Right. Is that right? I believe you. Yeah, no, there's just so much. And yeah, maybe it is hundreds of it. Actually, anyway, my point is that
It's a lot that you have to do
it's a
webinars.
lot. And I wanted to say something. I wanted to dial back, and thank you, Nick. Those were all terrific points. I wanted to dial back to something Mike said. So the thing about those moments in the past with assumptions when agents didn't understand da 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 and da da da, Mike and Bethany have closed so many assumptions. They've now been through the pain and they've gotten things better and better um, for so many purchases that they've identified best practices that we are now training our subscriber agents in, right? So there are so many little pitfalls we don't know to expect, but we know to expect them. So we will tell you, okay, so reach out to everyone you know, right? And, here's the script and here's the video to send, right? Because we want to make it as easy and painless as possible. We don't want you guys suddenly doubling your closed deals, but also feeling like you were working 16 hours a day, right? We want you to have like a happy life, right? So we keep creating videos, fact sheets, content for you. We make sure we're adding to the documents and forms that you can use. And we keep making sure that you know that you have access to us as subscriber agents and access to the scheduled live trainings if you're having a hard time getting us on the phone because we're so busy talking to so many people. And you can always ask us questions on the live trainings. And basically, the idea is we want to prepare you. We want to get you to the place where okay, I'm working with Freedom Mortgage. Freedom Mortgage has this profile. With Freedom Mortgage, I need to do this, this, and this first, and then da da da. And I can really reasonably expect da da da. But if I'm not getting help, I need to call this service line and then say to the people at the service line who tell me no, may I speak to your supervisor, et cetera, et cetera. So there's ways we've cracked these codes so that you don't have to drown in frustration and, lack of information. We've got you guys. And so if what I've been telling, we've been getting, I've been talking to a lot of heads of offices and large groups of, investors. We have a group of investors, 150 investors nationwide that wants us to present on AssumeList. And then all of those investors are going to need to be working with subscriber agents. I don't even know where those folks are located. Would you like to learn how to help some investors purchase an assumable home? There's a whole process to it. We've put it all down, we'll teach you and we'll probably have some clients for you. So whenever I'm talking to these groups that say, oh, we want to learn more, our agents want to learn more, our investors want to learn more, et cetera, they'll say, oh, could we do February? Or, gee, this week is so busy, maybe the last week of January. And I just say, listen, if you're an agent and you want to wait a week, are you willing to sacrifice 5 to 10 closed deals for every week you wait? Because that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people get so excited about getting all their stuff together, getting all their paperwork together. Everybody is looking right now, and it's only getting faster with each passing day. Mike and I are on the Zoom, don't be like us, but we're on the Zoom dealing with this stuff. I'm up at 6 a.m. and last night I was up till midnight finishing up all of the things, responding to all the people, trying to get all of the things that we have to get going because buyers are so passionate and excited about this and they can't do it on their own. They absolutely cannot. I was just talking to a buyer earlier today who is in Mike's area and was like, oh, I don't know if I really want to work with an agent. You know, I'm an investor and I know so much. I took him through 3 different pieces that he needed to know. And I was like, I'm so happy for you that you get to work with Mike and Bethany because they know so much. And he was like, oh, I can't wait to work with them. Right. So it's that kind of change that like you were saying, Nick, is made available. So I would just say run, don't walk. Like, do you want to lose 5 to 10 deals a week, or do you want to have your production double this spring? You know, that's the question you want to be asking yourself.
One of the things that I found, I've been in real estate over 15 years. I sold hundreds of homes. Certainly, many on this call, I'm sure, have sold many homes, and it can be a grind to tease out the next. Where's your next lead going to come from? Where's your next client going to be sourced? What sourced from where? And what I've learned is, of all the years I've been doing real estate, and really assumptions have only been around for about 2.5 years. Right prior to that, a new loan can be taken at a lower interest rate than the home you're buying. So nobody cared about assumptions prior to 2 years ago. But what I've learned over the last, 15 years of real estate, this assumption conversation is the easiest conversation, the easiest way I have learned or I've seen to generate interest in buyers, to generate interest in sellers. A lot of sellers need to move, but don't want to move or can't move because they don't want to give up their 2.5 or 3% interest rate. So they say, well, Mike, I really need to move, but I'm not giving up my rate. So if you can find me a home with a commensurate 2.5 or 3% rate, you've got me, and you can also sell my home. So half of the deals I did in 2024 were double-sided transactions because I helped them solve this problem. But my point is that it's the easiest way I've generated leads in my entire 15, 16-year career in real estate was to have a conversation about low interest rates. And being one of the few agents out there that have this skill set, this is what Nora is talking about, being able to differentiate yourself from other agents, being able to offer value that very few agents have knowledge on. I don't care if you're competing against a 20-year veteran and you only been in the industry for 2 years. That is irrelevant at this point. That 20-year veteran probably has no clue what assumptions are, and you may know more than them, and you're more inclined to win that transaction and win that client than that other person. So experience and years of time in the industry is really out the window because assumptions are so relatively new. But the point is, it's so much easier to have a conversation with everybody in your database just by having a few talking points, and we provide you with scripts.
And by the way,
yeah,
I was going to
go
say,
ahead.
Nora, you guys are doing webinars. I would say if you have a database, with several hundred or several thousand buyers in there, I would say do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Write an
Yeah.
email
And
to your database, say that, this is assumable loan is a thing, and you're gonna, have a webinar and you're gonna talk all about it. And, that's a great way to get people engaged.
I have subscriber agents who have booked me to do webinars for their buyers because I'm happy to do it. What is it? 45 minutes of my life saying the thing I've been saying all day? No problem. you know,
Yeah.
and we'll do it together, right? And I'll make Angela sound like the expert that she is because she's been doing assumptions since 33 years ago, right, Angela? I see that Neil asked a question. Neil, what I would advise you is that I think that the letter and postcard game is more powerful with our off-market property opportunities. Because remember, as a buyer's agent or as a kind of a possible competitor agent with with whoever's already representing the sellers, I would feel a little weird trying to get in touch with the sellers, without involving the agent. But what I will say is that because our agent subscriptions give you access to every single assumable property in the regions that we serve, both on market and off market. And this is one of the many ways we distinguish the buyer subscription from the agent subscription. The buyers have no access to the off market properties. So the fact that you can do searches and you can use all of our advanced filters for off market properties, we serve 21 different states Neil, and you can check out our go to AssumeList.com, and there's a map there that shows all the 21 states we serve, and we're opening in more places every day. But when you're using the search part of the platform, because remember, half of our magic is this awesome, amazing advanced search capacity, and half of our magic is training and supporting you through the process, right? So when you get on that search platform, which we have lots of videos to explain how to use, and you're looking at off-market properties, you can search by bedroom number, you can search by VA versus FHA. You know, if you're working with an investor, the only way an investor can assume a property is if the investor is assuming a VA loan and the veteran seller, the seller with the VA entitlement, is willing to split off the amount of the mortgage or the amount of the remaining debt from their existing entitlement. And that actually happens more often than you would think. And so we have a lot of investors very excited to be able to assume a VA loan at very low percentage rates and then just be immediately making huge net revenue on rental property because the mortgage is so low, but the rental prices are much higher, right? So there's really fun times there. Does agent subscription training?
I'll answer it in the chat. I'll answer in the chat.
You can answer it in the chat, but I want to just say, Adam, that's the whole point. We know that most agents have never even done one assumption. We know that. And we want to support you in getting 5 or 6 or 10 assumptions done this spring market. We think you're very capable, and that's why we've worked really hard. I want you to know, I have coached more than 200 real estate teams in the last 15 years. So I love agents and I love helping agents grow their businesses. And because I teach the neuroscience of sales and the neuroscience of kind of customer journey management and creating fabulous customer journeys for our real estate clients, when I first discovered AssumeList and met Mike and was introduced to Mike and Bethany, I said, oh, this is an amazing opportunity for agents. I've been working with agents for 15 years. This is such a cool reason to give them, you know, a reason to tell everybody they know there's something special here, right? So part of my work with AssumeList over the last 6 months has been to say, we have to make this really complex, really foreign process of assumptions really digestible. Right? We have to break it up, right? Like neuroscience of discovery, neuroscience of learning. We have to break it up so that people can eat it one bite at a time. And my commitment to you is that you will feel, if you show up for our trainings and you watch our recommended videos each day for 2 weeks, you will feel like you will be good at assumptions. And you'll have us there supporting you with, you know, Q&A and that kind of thing the whole way. Mike is right that there are service providers who specialize in the transaction coordination, and that's a major headache lifted from everyone. So it is worth considering, for sure.
Yeah, Rich asked a great question. So those of you on this call that are in areas which we don't cover yet, so we're in 21 states, and if you go to assumelist.com/area served, or at the very top of the page, you'll see a link to the area served. You can see the states and click on even in individual state, and you'll see the counties that we cover. If we're not in your local market yet, you can submit for a wait list. There's a form where you can get added to our wait list. We are expanding every few weeks. We expand into new markets. I believe, Rich just asked about Washington State and Oregon. Washington State is one of our top 3 states we're looking to expand to next. Salt Lake City is one of those next markets. The Seattle market is one of the next markets. Eastern North Carolina is the next market, and Tennessee. There's a couple places in Tennessee we want to get into. So we're in what we would consider the major markets where the vast majority of the assumable mortgages in the country kind of occur, which, as you would imagine, they're mostly around military bases and major metropolitan centers. So we've got about 65-70% of the assumable mortgage market nationwide covered already within the search platform. We are going into some of these other areas that I just discussed. which will occur in the next several weeks, over the next several months. So if you're on the wait list, you will be notified once we launch in those areas, or you can always just come back and check the area served page every few weeks and just see when we're launching into those new markets.
And Joe, I want to answer Joe's question. I'm burning to answer Joe's question, but I want to piggyback. I want to piggyback onto what Mike just said for one reason. So guys, we have an affiliate program. So if you're in Washington or Oregon or one of the many, one of the other states in the country that are not in the 21 states we serve, we have this affiliate program. So if you have, oh, good. Angela and Joe have the same question. I will answer both your questions at once. I promise. We have this affiliate program. So if you look at our areas served and you know agents in those areas served, you can sign up to be an affiliate. And then you can connect us with the agents there. And I will personally lead webinars for their offices, right? I can't just take every single agent who's possibly thinking of, I'm sorry, I don't have time to sell every single person one at a time. But I will happily arrange for webinars in their offices, and I will use your affiliate code to sell to those offices if you're willing to help coordinate all that. And in that respect, you get, as an affiliate, a percentage of every single subscription that signs up under your affiliate code. So even if this isn't something that you can do in your local area, you can still be part of the Assumption Boom and benefit with passive revenue from the Assumption Boom just by making a few introductions and pushing real hard to get us on the docket for like the weekly meeting or whatever. The sooner the better, because with each week, they're missing out on 5 to 10 closed deals before June. Okay, let's talk with Joe and Angela and everybody else who's wondering, is there a limit? So here's how I'm going to answer this question. When we first started blanketing the market with webinars, right? And like going all over and like calling all our friends, right? When I first said to Mike, okay, we can't just rely on Google. We've got to go to these, agents that we know and like present and show them and give them the whatever, give them the customer journey that we've written for AssumeList so they understand. We got a bunch of agents signing up. Every time we did a webinar, people signed up, and then they said, could you let us keep this as our little secret? Right? That happened over and over the first few weeks we started doing it. And Mike and I looked at each other and we went, yeah, of course. Yeah, no, it's your secret weapon. And I don't think either of us knew how to respond other than wanting to make our customers happy, right? We talked about it. We went afterwards and we were like, what? I don't know. I mean, we have plenty of other places to shop around, right? I mean, and then those agents started calling us. And those agents started saying, I can't get the seller's agent on the other side to talk to me about assumptions. I can't get, I need other agents in the marketplace to know what I'm talking about. And that's when they said, actually, could you give more webinars? Could you give more trainings to as many agents as possible so that we all are operating within a shared paradigm and we're all excited? And that's when we realized assumptions can't be like this cool secret thing that you get to manipulate the market with. Assumptions need to be a win-win-win for buyer, seller, and agent. And in fact, they really are, because the buyer is going to save between $200,000 and $800,000 over the life of the remaining time on the mortgage, which is on average 25 years. So if your buyer is going to save $200,000 to $800,000 over the next 25 years, that's a life-changing amount of money. Number one. Number two, if they're going to save that life-changing amount of money, they're probably willing to part with 10, 20, 30K more than they would have otherwise.
Let me jump in here, Nora, because
Go ahead, Mike.
what I've started doing late last year is it does take a little bit more time to do an assumption than a traditional purchase, right? So we just talked about it. Well, how long? So about 45 days, maybe as much as 60 days if it's an FHA. Lenders do take a little bit longer to do an FHA closing. So because there's more involved in me, right? Remember, I just spoke a few minutes ago about a lot of the burden on getting an assumption approved is more on the agent than it is on the lender in many cases, right? Getting the loan, submitting the forms, understanding the next steps, ensuring that both these buyers and the sellers are on top of things, right? Everything needs to be submitted on time. I am using my assumption business to charge a higher fee in my buyer representation agreements. So perhaps normally I would charge a 2.5%. I would say, oh, you're doing an assumption. My fee for an assumption is 3%. Or if 3% is your standard and whatever, I'm not telling you what you should do. I'm just saying, as an example, maybe you charge 3.25% or 3.5% because you are going to be working more for that client. You're going to be doing more research. You're going to be doing more engagement with listing agents. For example, if you have a non-veteran buyer, you have to find out which properties a seller might be willing to leave their entitlement. So there's a lot more involved for you as an agent to do an assumption. And so you can charge more. And I use this successfully. Now, why would buyers be willing to do that? Well, very easily. A buyer may be willing to offset or compensate you, the agent that's helping them, because they're going to be saving so much money every month in their interest, in their savings, in their interest rate. So if they're saving $1,000 or $2,000 a month, my record to date right now is $3,400 a month in savings on one assumption that I've done with the client. But if they're saving, say, $1,000 or $1,500 a month, why wouldn't they be willing to pay you that extra 0.25% or 0.5% extra in the interest in the compensation, a couple $1,000 more? So big deal from their standpoint. They're going to save 10, 15, 20, $30,000 a year in interest. So if they offset, if they compensate you a little bit more on the front end, you're better off for it. They're getting a deal that they would never have otherwise gotten. So they're going to be willing to pay that for that expertise, right? They're paying you for that expertise that they're not getting anywhere else. So I leave that with you because that's really an important factor. It's one of the very few ways that I've learned in my career and how I can legitimately charge more, and my clients rarely ever question it because they're going to be saving so much money.
Mike, I'm so sorry. You're making such a great point, and I hate to cut you off, but Jasmine is posting a dead link for the exclusive discount for LCA members. Jasmine, I'm so sorry. Your link is not working. I just tested it. Can we get the correct link in for everybody?
I'll pull it up. Yep, I'll pull it up. I'll send it.
Which link are we talking about? The affiliate one?
No, not the
Lab
affiliate
Coat
one.
Discount.
Jasmine,
So the link I
Jasmine
just
put in
posted.
a lab code agents discount sign up link into the
It's just
chat.
posted. It's
Okay,
there.
great. Okay, so Jasmine, can you make sure that's the link you're posting, please? Pretty please.
Got it.
Joe, I just tested it from my end and it didn't work on my end either. Once Angela said it wasn't working on her end, I just decided to test it. So it's dead for some of us.
So the next question was, is this going to be available to share with another agent who could not attend? Yeah, so the video, this is going to be recorded, so you can share this video. I know, Nick, you post this on the Lab Coat Agents Facebook group, right? And I think it's posted, however normally you would pull up on the YouTube channel. And then we also
it's on our
post it
YouTube
channel
channel
as well.
And the name of our YouTube channel is AssumeList, right, Mike?
Correct. Yep.
So
and
guys,
you can go
to
to
YouTube and just click on the AssumeList, like put AssumeList in there, and you'll find our YouTube channel. You'll find intro videos there.
Yeah.
Right, go
And
ahead,
if you
Nick.
want to rewatch this, you can go to the Lab Coat Agents YouTube channel and rewatch it. It's up there.
Oh,
right
good. Yeah, there too.
Or sign up, become a Assume a subscriber. And you'll get more. You'll get access to us regularly, right? And so we want to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially now with the industry changing in terms of, commission structures and so on and so forth. Buyer agents are having to show more value, especially if there's an instance where a buyer has to pay some or all of your commission. Bringing the most value to the table and having things that other agents can't do is super important these days. So, listen, interest rates are high, people are complaining, houses aren't selling as quickly, and there's a way around it. So why not? And I just looked up Michigan and looked in Oakland County for where I live, and there's 83 homes for sale with assumable loans. I mean, that's pretty amazing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're in Oakland County, Michigan?
Yeah.
Are you subscribed to AssumeList? Because we just had a buyer in Oakland County, Michigan.
No, I'm not licensed in Michigan, actually. I'm licensed in New Jersey. It's a whole long story. I moved here for a Keller Williams position, but I did sell real estate in New Jersey for 15 years, but currently in Michigan doing real estate coaching. But that would have been great if I was licensed here.
Yeah. I mean, guys, like tell us where you're from. We've probably talked to a buyer in your area.
Yeah.
But also, I
So
just want to say, like, we're happy to send you buyers that come to us through organic search because people are really excited and curious about assumptions. But what this means for our subscriber agents who spend a few hours in our learning center, watching videos, getting our scripts, getting our advice, what this means for them is that they take people who actually know them, who actually know their names and don't even dislike them. Those people have not given them the time of day. Remember, most of the people in your network like you. They just don't feel like you're giving them really clearly incremental value above what they already see and know. The minute they hear value, they already like you, they already know you, they probably trust you. The minute they hear incremental value they can't get anywhere else, and these are people you know. This is not about, oh, I'm going to go find 50,000 new people, even though we're happy to send you new people. They're going to talk to you in a way you've never heard them talk to you, or you haven't heard them talk to you this way in 5 years or 10 years. This is where it gets really exciting.
There is so much more, Nick, that we want to cover. I know we're running really short on time. I wanted to share with the audience that, there's a whole conversation about overcoming the cash gap, right? Second mortgages. And we have some phenomenal information to share about second mortgages where the buyers don't have to come up with the cash needed for the down payment on their own. There is a program that we work with, a very custom, bespoke second mortgage lender that we have developed a program specifically for assumptions that's available nationwide that we can offer and provide guidance on how to use that to assist buyers who are otherwise interested in pursuing this, but think, I don't have the cash. Maybe I'm just going to I'm fine. I'm good. And you can say, well, hold on. All you need is 5% down, or all you need is 10% down, depending on what state you're located in. And we can solve that problem for them. They don't need to come up with the entirety of the cash, right? So there are programs that we create a blended interest rate, and that blended interest rate may still be significantly better than taking out a new mortgage. So there are a lot of solutions out there that have kind of really come about and have become more mature over the last few months that even a year ago I wouldn't have known about or didn't know existed. So this is a maturing industry, or niche, I would say, niche within the real estate industry, and that really what we're seeing is 2025 really is the year of the assumption. I'm going to go out and say it, the year of the assumption, where interest rates are where they are. I mean, they're 7%, give or take. Maybe they're going to fluctuate a quarter point here, a quarter point there. We're not going to see sub 4% interest rates in 2025 or 2026. We're probably not going to see sub 5.5% interest rates. Maybe we'll get to the high fives, but realistically, we're in the sixes. So for every 1% reduction in interest rate is a 10% reduction in mortgage payment. So from a 7% mortgage to offering a buyer with a 3% mortgage, that's saving them 40% on their mortgage payment. That is substantial. That is life-changing. The language that I use with my clients is, come work with me and I'll give you a $30,000 a year pay raise.
Right.
And they look at that and they're like, holy crap, Mike, you're right. I'm saving $30,000 a year in interest that I would otherwise have to pay. That is equivalent to a $30,000 a year pay raise. I mean, it's quite remarkable how the numbers work.
And let's just answer some of the logistical questions. And thank you, Kitty Olivia. I love all the cheerleader texts you've been putting in. I thank you so much for all that. Joe, you sign up as an agent, you pay for your agent subscription, and you sign up separately for your affiliate. Your affiliate does not get you a subscription, and signing up for an affiliate as an affiliate is free. So for those of you who are not in the areas that we serve, feel free to sign up as an affiliate. Now, when you sign up as an affiliate, you will have to fill out an application, and you have to make an argument for why you're going to be an awesome affiliate, because we want you to really care, right? So you're going to have to fill out that application as kind of its own thing. But the agent subscription, where you get access to our search platform and access to our learning center and access to us all the time, That's a separate thing and that you pay for. Does that make sense? Is that helpful, Joe?
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of questions. We're not gonna be able to get to all of them. If they do have any questions, who can they reach out to?
Let's just the best thing to do is just submit them to me. We'll just go with
Can we have them CC it to both of us so that we can
yeah. What
like
we'll do is
divide and conquer?
let's do this. Let's submit it to support@assumelist.com.
Yeah,
That goes
exactly.
right into our ticketing queue, and it's tracked that way, and then both of us will have access to it. So
Absolutely.
support, and I'll write it in here.
I got it.
Support at
And-
assumelist.com.
And please, please, please
Send it.
put your phone number in the submission so that in case it comes in at a time when I have a minute, I'm just like, oh, gotta call him. Hey, it's Nora, what's up? Right? So I love to call people. I love talking to people on the phone. I just can't handle everyone all at once. But
Yeah,
quickly.
but that way we'll make sure we get back to you. If you have any questions about the platform, if you have any questions like you need advice on how a certain rule works with that assumption process. Obviously, we give a lot more time to our subscribers, but we understand that we want to show value to you. So we want to let you know, like, I'm fairly certain I can answer your question, whatever it may be. I'm finding it less and less times where I don't have an answer right off the bat. There was one case just recently I had to do some research for. But that's usually few and far between. I've done so many assumptions
Now.
at this point. So I'm more than happy to share my knowledge with everybody, depending on what you're looking for.
I love it. Well, hey guys, this has been awesome. This is, I think, very different than, all the lead generation sites that are out there. I've said it in the last
So Nick,
webinar.
I just
Yeah,
want
go
to
ahead.
answer again. Stephanie has a super logistical question. So Stephanie, in answer to your question, so you can choose to do an annual plan or a monthly plan. Okay. You might just have clicked on the annual and you just don't even realize you're on the annual. Okay. When you sign up as an agent, we do the first 7 days for $7 because we want you to feel like, okay, I'm getting to know this thing. I don't have to commit to the full 79 or the full year right away. I've got 7 days to kind of check it out, watch some videos, see if my buyers really do respond the way Mike and Nora say they will. Totally cool. If you sign up from that yearly registration page, 7 days after you sign up, which is January 17th, you will be charged for the year. If you sign up from the monthly version of the registration page, 7 days from when you sign up, you will be charged for your first month. Does that make sense? Okay, great. I'm glad that was helpful. Yes, I look
Thanks,
forward to
Nora.
meeting with you, Angela. Hey guys, if you're still on the call, will you put your locations in the chat? Just if for those of you who've signed up or are about to sign up, like, will you put your location so I just know to be thinking? Okay, St. Charles, Illinois for Adam. Great. Chicago, great. We've got some great stuff in Chicago. Oh, San Diego, Denise, you're going to love hanging out with us in San Diego. We've got so many listings and honestly, so many buyer leads in San Diego. Long Beach, great. Oakland County, Michigan, great, Kitty. Louisiana. Oh, someone, Elydia Poydras, like Poydras Street in New Orleans. I'm born and raised in New Orleans myself. Austin, Texas, we have so many listings in Austin. We're not in Ohio. We're not in Seattle. I have friends in Vashon Island, but unfortunately, we're not in Washington. Mike, we're not in Louisiana. And I don't think
Yet. I always add the word yet at the end of that statement.
Yeah, we're not in Louisiana yet, but Louisiana is my home state, so I definitely want to bring us there. We're not in Columbia, South Carolina yet, but don't lose track of us. Oh, Andrea's in San Diego. That's great. We have so many properties in San Diego and so many buyers interested in San Diego because that cost of living in San Diego is going up every few months. It's crazy, and assumptions are such a great alternative for San Diego buyers. I know, I need you. I love I love everyone in Louisiana.
All right, Nora, take a deep breath.
Yes.
We got to get back on track. He's got other work to do today. Listen, we from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure Nora agrees with me. We thank you for your time today. We really try to help you. Like the purpose of AssumeList, right? This is the slogan I'm using is built by agents for agents, right? This is a search platform built for you to help you grow your business, help you have conversations with your clients. In most cases, these buyers don't have access to this data. They certainly don't have access to all the off-market listings. So there's some really cool things that only agent accounts have access to. There's a lot of features and capabilities that we don't have time to talk about today. This is really just meant to, what are the basic things that you need to know in order to know whether this is something that will work for you? Hopefully we've answered that question. Looking forward to having more one-on-ones or certainly in the group webinars with myself and Nora. We host them weekly. Thank you again for your time.
There's two
Yep.
more questions I want to answer real quick. Stephanie, yes, you can search anywhere in the 21 states that we serve. If you subscribe, and if you choose to subscribe without being like, if a Louisiana broker or agent subscribes and chooses to do searches outside of Louisiana in the 21 states that we serve, you could certainly, you could certainly figure out creative ways to use our platform to make money. Obviously, it's not your day-to-day business, but if you have buyers that are interested in other locations, yes, we do not limit you. You don't have to be like San Diego exclusive. You can find assumable properties both on market and off market in every place we serve.
Yep. Any account can search any of our 21 states. There's no geographic restriction on where they can run searches.
And did we want
but we will be soon.
Did we want to quickly address the question we've gotten from Dennis 3 times about CalVet? Because I don't know what he's referring to. I have a feeling you might, Mike. CalVet loans assumable?
I'm not sure what a CalVet is.
I'm assuming it's a California veteran loan, or maybe maybe CalVet is a servicer. If it's a VA loan, it's assumable.
If it's a VA loan, it's assumable. That's all that matters, right? There's VA and FHA and USDA. Any one of those three are assumable. Predominantly when the markets we're talking about, we'll see VA and FHA. 100% of VA loans and 100% of FHA loans are assumable, full stop, no questions asked. Conventional loans, generally speaking, are not assumable. There are some nuances to that statement, but generally speaking, they're not assumable. Okay, Nick, back over to you to close us out.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. I wouldn't be rushing if I didn't have to go pick up my kid at school. So otherwise, we could be on here as long as you want. But I do have to bring it to a close. There's lots of questions. I dropped AssumeList.com/area-served in the chat because a lot of people are like, what about this? What about this? What about this? Go look at the map. Okay. And that's the easiest way. And go to support@assumelist.com. Email that if you have any specific questions. And Nora or Mike will give you a call back. And yeah, so go check it out and play around with the website too. It's super fun to do. There's lots of info on there that you can't really find anywhere else. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. We'll always have another AssumeList webinar next month. So if you're still kind of on the fence and you want to jump on another one, just be on the lookout for the next webinar. And if you want to rewatch it, go to youtube.com, type in lab code agents, and the replay will be right there. Thanks, everyone. Have an awesome Friday and a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.